Good morning. This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Sunday, August 4th. Looking at our fire potential impacts, we do have a mixture of wet and dry lightning where we see the yellow across parts of northeast Nevada into parts of southern and eastern Idaho and western Wyoming. Wetter thunderstorms, we see the darker green into eastern Utah and parts of the Arizona Strip. That activity will be shrinking in coverage as we go through Monday and Tuesday, as will the mixture of drier storms mixed with some wet across parts of northern eastern Idaho and western Wyoming. Over the past 24 hours, we did have, we'll look on the right-hand side first, quite a bit of lightning, especially across our southern areas and eastern areas, more isolated to further north. Heavier precipitation amounts you can see here across our southern areas, lighter amounts, more of just a couple hundredths of an inch. We see the dark green up here in our northern areas. We had light initial attack, but a few low and larger fires have popped up. New fires in the red circles, existing recent fires in the yellow. Observed precipitation over the past 7 and 14 days. We'll start on the right-hand side first. Wettest amounts across our southern areas. The greens and dark greens indicate a ½ inch to an inch of rain. No shading or light blues indicate little or just very light precipitation. And these areas have remained dry over the past 2 weeks, and especially over the past week, more to the parts of southwest Idaho and a good chunk of Nevada. So our focus does shift more to the west and northwest in terms of concerns. You can see that on our ERC point map. Our most critical areas here in the red over far northwestern portions of our geographic area in the mountains of central Idaho near McCall, also northwestern Nevada, parts of northwest Utah also, but much more benign in the green further to the south and east. 10-hour fuels, best indicator for grass and light brush. Again, main concerns across western Nevada, parts of southwest Idaho, and even to parts of far northwestern Utah as well, much more moist to the south. Current fuel conditions, actually up here in GB01 up near McCall, this is 1,000-hour fuels, and you can see that we are near normal levels, dried out steadily over the past couple of weeks. So the 1,000-hour heavies are getting quite dry. Further down south in the southern sawtooths, these are 100-hour fuels. They're near early August normals, which is quite dry. Same story for northwest Nevada. Sagebrush, fuel moisture, live fuel moisture here in northwest Utah, dropping down towards 100 and towards 100 as well down in southern Nevada. So our sagebrush in some areas starting to get down towards points where they can combust more easily. Satellite imagery shows Four Corners high pressure system starting to pull up moisture in strips here, so we'll be watching some thunderstorm activity deepest across our southern areas, more isolated amounts further north. So we'll see that for today. We also have high risk for some of the higher terrain of the central mountains of Idaho, where they'll see some thunderstorms. They've had recent ignitions. See that moisture exiting through their drier air punching on in. We'll have some lingering moisture here in parts of southern Utah. Drier air working in across western Nevada. Precipitation for today, you can see some heavier amounts in the pink here. Amounts anywhere about a ½ inch or more, or maybe an inch in the Uintas. Lighter amounts, low and wetting rains further north. Some moderate breezes gusting into the 20-25 mile per hour range here in northwest Nevada. Some outflow boundaries with these thunderstorms could produce brief gusty winds in the afternoon where you see the orange. Otherwise, fairly light winds. For tomorrow, there'll be another shot of isolated moisture through here, parts of northern Nevada. We don't have any high risk. You see the fire potential driest in the west, most moist in the eastern areas. Convection, thunderstorms more isolated across Utah, still continuing, maybe a little bit more wetter across the higher terrain of Idaho. You can see winds, moderate gusts in the mid-20s here where you see the dark green. Otherwise, winds fairly light. On Tuesday, we're watching some more moisture sort of rotate up into our southern areas, also into northern areas as well, so I have to keep an eye on that. Dryness levels here. Precipitation, just isolated amounts, mostly across Idaho. Moderate breezes, again, we see the dark green and orange, not quite critical, but in the 20s, and humidity will be fairly low. 3-day measurable precipitation fairly light, except for some of the higher terrain of Utah. Further down the road into Wednesday, we see some more moisture coming up. Probably wetter storms here. We do have a concern for northwest Nevada, and this could be overnight Tuesday into Wednesday or Wednesday night to Thursday. We'll see how it plays out. Some of this moisture will stream through and clip parts of northwest Nevada. Kind of hard to see here, but it is a concern that we're watching. Another deeper trough of low pressure coming in across the Pacific Northwest. And on Friday, we do get drier air and increasing winds across western Nevada. And that pattern will continue on Saturday. 7-day precipitation totals, deepest moisture and rainfall to the south. 8 to 14-day outlook, drier than normal. Weather moves into the whole area. The monsoon shuts down for a while. Fuels will dry out. Temperatures mostly above normal in most areas. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.